Can a melody exist without a song? At the top of a hill lived a tiny note named Lila, and she had never belonged to any sheet music. Lila wasn't like the other notes. She didn't get along with rhythm and didn't understand measure. She just wanted a sound, even if she didn't know how or where. Each morning, Lila peeked from her floating staff and sighed as she watched the other notes being called by songs. One day, she decided to go down to the city of instruments, hoping someone would adopt her to be part of a beautiful melody. She walked among violins, drums, and flutes, but everyone ignored her. "You're too free," they said, "and songs need order." Sad, Lila sat in a corner where silence rested. It was a large, gray figure with a soft voice that barely whispered. "Maybe you're not meant for a common song," silence murmured. "Perhaps your music lies elsewhere." Intrigued, Lila decided to look beyond the measure. She entered the musical mist, where rejected and forgotten notes lived. There she found Solón, a deep note with a crooked hat, and Ziri, a high-pitched note who laughed all the time for no reason. Together, they tried to make their own song, but every time they did, their sounds clashed like a storm of noise. Lila didn't give up. Every night, she invented new ways to blend, even if her chords didn't seem to make sense. One day, they heard a strange cry. It was a human boy, sitting under a tree, sobbing with his face buried. Lila got closer and noticed that from the boy's heart floated sad notes, drifting in the air like ownerless echoes. "My voice isn't pretty," the boy murmured. "No one wants to sing with me." Lila understood something very deep in that moment. She landed on the boy's shoulder and, with Solón and Ziri, began to play along with the notes coming from him, even if they were imperfect. For the first time, Lila didn't try to fit in. She just let emotion guide her music, without rules or measures. The sound they created was unique, a strange, shaky, disordered melody, but it made the air vibrate with tenderness. The tree they sat under began to glow, and the birds in the forest whistled along to that different song. The boy laughed, his eyes shining. "That music is me." Lila spun happily in the air. She had finally found her place. The melody kept growing, not in a theater or a symphony, but in hearts that needed to be heard. Lila, Solón, and Ziri chose to stay with the boy, following him through every emotion, creating new songs each day. But soon, other notes from the mist began to arrive, drawn by that free music that didn't demand perfection. And so the Band of the Imperfects was born, a symphony without sheet music that filled spaces no one else could touch. The fame of their melody spread. It wasn't harmonious, but it was true. And truth, even if odd, always sounds loud. A famous composer wanted to take Lila to a grand concert, promising her a fixed spot in an important opera. For a moment, Lila hesitated. Was that her destiny? A shiny score in exchange for giving up her free spirit? With a smile, Lila thanked the offer and returned to her band, knowing her song didn't need a stage, it had soul. Since then, whenever a child feels their voice isn't worthy, Lila's melody appears to accompany them without judgment. And though it never appears on albums or at concerts, her music lives wherever someone sings with their heart. Moral: not all songs are born to be perfect. Some exist only to accompany those who need them most. Subscribe and hit the bell for more magical stories that will take you to incredible worlds.